Step into the heart of Barcelona, and you'll find a building that seems to have sprung from a dream. The Basilica de la Sagrada Familia isn't just a church. It's a living story, a masterpiece still being written in stone, more than 140 years after its first brick was laid. Today we're diving deep into the history, the symbolism, and the sheer genius behind Antoni Gaudí's most ambitious project. So, how did this all begin? Let's rewind to 1882. The foundation stone was laid, but the original architect, Francisco de Paula del Villar, resigned just a year later over disagreements. This is where our story truly begins. A young, relatively unknown architect named Antoni Gaudí takes over. He was just 31, but he wasn't just going to finish someone else's neo-Gothic church. Oh no. Gaudí had a vision that was far grander, more radical, and deeply connected to nature and faith. He completely redesigned the project, transforming it into the icon we know today. Gaudí knew he wouldn't live to see it completed. He once said, "My client is not in a hurry." He was talking about God. He dedicated the last 43 years of his life to this project, living like a hermit on the construction site in his final years. Now let's talk about what makes the Sagrada Familia so unique. Gaudí was a master of observing nature. He believed nature was the ultimate architect, the work of God. So he avoided straight lines and right angles, which are rare in the natural world. Instead, the basilica's interior is like a massive stone forest. The towering columns branch out near the ceiling, just like trees reaching for the sky. This isn't just for show. It's a revolutionary structural system that distributes the ceiling's weight perfectly, creating a sense of lightness and immense space. As you stand inside and look up, the sunlight filtering through the stained glass windows dapples the floor, making you feel like you're walking through a forest canopy on a sunny day. It's an experience that's both architectural and deeply spiritual. The building itself is designed to be a visual Bible, telling the story of Jesus Christ through its architecture. It features 3 grand facades, each representing a key moment in his life. The first and the only one substantially completed during Gaudí's lifetime is the Nativity facade. It's an explosion of life and joy, celebrating the birth of Jesus. The stonework is incredibly detailed, teeming with sculptures of people, plants, and animals. You'll see the Holy Family, shepherds, wise men, and a whole host of natural elements, from turtles symbolizing permanence to chameleons symbolizing change. It's so ornate and full of detail, you could spend hours just looking at one section. Gaudí wanted it to be welcoming, to draw people in with its story of hope and new beginnings. In stark contrast, we have the Passion facade. This was built much later, based on Gaudí's surviving drawings, by the sculptor Josep Maria Subirachs. Style is completely different. It's stark, angular, and almost skeletal. The sharp geometric figures convey the pain and sacrifice of Christ's final days, the Last Supper, the betrayal, the crucifixion. The mood here is somber and dramatic. This contrast was intentional. Gaudí wanted the journey from the Nativity facade to the Passion facade to reflect the journey of life itself. With its moments of joy and its inevitable suffering, it's powerful, and it's meant to make you think and feel. The third and largest facade, the Glory facade, is still under construction. It will represent the road to God, death, final judgment, and glory. When finished, it will be the main entrance to the basilica. Its design includes depictions of the 7 deadly sins at the base and the 7 heavenly virtues above. It's meant to symbolize humanity's ascent to God. Imagine walking through columns representing hell and emerging into the glorious light of the church's main nave. That's the journey Gaudí envisioned for every visitor. Let's look up at the towers. Gaudí planned for a total of 18 spires, each with a specific meaning. 12 represent the apostles. 4 taller ones are for the evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. A massive central tower, the tallest of all, will be dedicated to Jesus Christ, and a slightly shorter one behind it to the Virgin Mary. When the Jesus Christ Tower is completed, it will be crowned with a giant 4-armed cross, reaching a height of 172.5 meters. This specific height is intentional. Gaudí wanted his creation to be the tallest building in Barcelona, But he also believed that man's work should never surpass God's. So, he designed it to be just slightly shorter than Montjuic, Barcelona's highest natural point. It's a beautiful gesture of humility from an architect of such immense talent. Several of these towers are now complete, and their mosaic-covered pinnacles, shouting "Sanctus, Sanctus, Sanctus," already transformed the Barcelona skyline. But the journey to this point has been anything but smooth. In Ijo Arleu, Gaudí was tragically killed in a tram accident. At the time of his death, less than a quarter of the project was complete. He left behind a wealth of drawings, plans, and plaster models. But disaster struck a decade later during the Spanish Civil War. Anarchists broke into the workshop and destroyed many of Gaudí's original models and plans. It was a devastating blow. For years, architects and builders had to piece together the shattered fragments of plaster like a giant three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle just to understand Gaudí's complex geometric designs. This painstaking work is a major reason why construction has taken so long. The funding is another interesting aspect. From the very beginning, the Sagrada Familia has been funded entirely by private donations and ticket sales from millions of tourists. It receives no government or official church funding. This is why it's often called an expiatory temple, built from the offerings of the people. This financial model means that the pace of construction is directly tied to its popularity and the generosity of its supporters. So, when will it be finished? That's the million-dollar question. For decades, the target completion date for the main structure was 2026, to mark the centenary of Gaudí's death. The progress in the last few decades has been incredible, thanks to modern technology like 3D printing and computer-aided design, which have helped decipher and execute Gaudí's complex vision much faster. However, the global pandemic caused a significant setback, halting construction and tourism revenue. So, while the 2026 goal for the main structure is no longer certain, the work continues with passion and determination. The final decorative elements will likely take many years beyond that. But maybe the fact that it's unfinished is part of its magic. For over a century, generations of craftspeople, stonemasons, sculptors, and architects have dedicated their lives to realizing Gaudí's vision. It's a living monument to collaboration, persistence, and faith. It's a building that has grown with the city of Barcelona, reflecting its history, its struggles, and its triumphs. The Sagrada Família is more than just a tourist attraction. It's a testament to the power of a singular, brilliant vision. Gaudí didn't just design a building, he imagined an experience. He created a space that inspires awe, invites contemplation, and tells a timeless story in a language everyone can understand, the language of beauty and nature. Whether you see it as a place of worship, an architectural marvel, or a work of art, there's no denying its profound impact. It stands as a symbol of what humanity can achieve when we dare to dream on a grand scale. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through Gaudí's unfinished masterpiece. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most incredible places. Let me know in the comments if you've ever visited the Sagrada Familia and what you thought of it. Till next time, keep exploring.